Does everything look good? Ready to go?
We're live. You're talking to people.
We are live, talking to people. Very good. Good evening, everybody. My name is Callie McNamee. I'm the principal at Elmonica Elementary. I'm here tonight to do a little presentation for all of our new student families and our kindergarten future families. But first, let me talk a little bit about my space. This is my office away from school. It is my oldest child's bedroom, but just thought I'd give you a little bit of history so you know what space that I'm working from this evening. Like I said, my name is Callie McNamee. This is my second year as the principal at Elmonica, but I have been in the Beaverton School District for 21 years and the principal for 12 years. And we have several guests with us this evening, panelists. I would like them to introduce themselves, please. Mr. Nelson, would you like to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm putting our faces up so that you guys can see us. As my 2-year-old barges in. I'm Mr. Nelson. I'm the student manager here at Elmonica. This is my 4th year. Previously, I was a student success coach, and it's nice to meet all of you guys.
Thank you. How about you, Ms. Hastings?
Hi, everyone. I am Mrs. Hastings. I'm the student success coach at Elmonica, and some of you may recognize me. I'm in the neighborhood a lot, walking with my dog, and try to say hello to all of you when I see you. I had my first year of teaching actually was at Elmonica in 2010. I've been to a few schools since then, and I'm really happy to be back. I've been back at Elmonica for a couple years now in various roles, and it feels like a family. It feels like home to me.
And Justin, why don't you introduce yourself next?
Hi, my name is Justin Bernard, and I work for the IT department. I'm just here to support and facilitate as we use a new tool to try and present our webinar solution towards the community.
Thank you. And Janice?
I'm Janice Lewis. I am a retired Beaverton School District teacher. The last 3 years of my teaching career, I was part of the group that started up the pre-Ks in our district, and I have several non-teaching roles this year, and one of those is being part of a team that is starting up the Preschool Promise preschool classrooms at Merlo Station.
And Eduardo.
Buenas tardes, familias. Yo soy Eduardo Irigoyen, intérprete de la escuela. Me gustaría saber si alguna de las familias que están presentes hoy necesitan un intérprete. Por favor, háganmelo saber ahora o por el chat. Thank you.
Georgia, let us know if anybody answers.
I'm watching. I don't see anything yet.
Okay, thank you. So again, I'm Callie McNamee, and I will now share a lot of information about Elmonica. When we get to the end of this presentation, we'll be doing a question and answer session using the chat function or the Q&A function. We are going on the assumption that things will return to somewhat normal next fall. So this presentation is about what school looks like in a typical year. Some things I'd like to show you is that we have a fantastic website that has a ton of information, and Georgia will be putting this presentation that I'm sharing with you in the question and answer, so you can follow along if you'd like. That was a glimpse of our website. There is a section on our website as well that has all of the recent newsletters. So if you would like to see what has happened in the past 12 months, you are welcome to do that. You can see we have a newsletter for just about every week. And here is a picture of our staff when we are all together, and we don't need to wear our masks. This picture was taken in the fall of 2019. Presently, we have 463 students at Elmonica. We have 4 classes in grades 1 and 2 and kindergarten, and we have 3 classes in grades 3, 4, and 5. Elmonica has been serving the community and our families since 1981. And our agenda for today, we have many things to share and talk about. I will give you a glimpse into teachers and support staff, show you where you can find a kindergarten classroom tour, a building tour. Also talk a little bit about our vision and mission, both for Elmonica and the Beaverton School District, show you where you can find information about curriculum, assessment, and instruction. There's also some resources about kindergarten, since most of our new families and usually our audience are new kindergarten families. We are a little kindergarten heavy tonight. Also some information about nutrition services, some health information, what Playful Inquiry is, some tidbits about finalizing your registration. And parents, are you ready? There's a few things you need to do to get ready for school to start in the fall. And also some good habits, what arrival looks like in a typical school year, the school bus, tiny bit about the PTO, and Janice will be sharing some information about preschool. And we have a little video on the Beaverton City Library. And then we'll have an opportunity for question and answers. So just because most of our audience will be kindergarten families, here are our fantastic kindergarten teachers. You can see we have 4 classroom teachers and we have 2 co-teachers, Mr. Brown and Miss Weisgerber, our ESL teachers and support language development for our kindergarten students this year. And then here are some people you might see in the office. Our 2 secretaries work to support families and staff, and then also Mr. Nelson, who is our student manager. If you are particularly interested in finding someone else, like what do our 3rd grade teachers look like? We do have a staff directory that's linked in here, and you can find any teacher that you would like at Elmonica. If you click on this button, which I will start, but we won't watch the whole thing. This will give you a little overview of, oops, it has to verify that it's me. Pardon me for a second. Under pressure. We'll just watch the first few seconds.
Welcome to Elmonica and a virtual visit to our kindergarten classrooms. Bienvenidos a Elmonica y a una visita virtual a los salones de clases de kinder de nuestra escuela. This is our kinder.
So that'll give you at least a glimpse into what it looks like in our kindergarten classrooms. Please go back and watch that when you have a chance. Next, we also have a virtual tour of what the school building looks like right now with no students in it. Hi, my name is Callie McNamee and I'm the principal here at Elmonica. And it's more of the same. So that is a virtual tour of what our school building looks like right now. It's about 10 minutes long, but if you would like to see what the classrooms look like, you're welcome to do so. They're sort of empty with no children, but that's okay. It gives you a sense of what the school looks like on the inside. And next, just a little bit more about the vision and mission of the Beaverton School District. Our district goal is we empower all students to achieve post-high school success. We have 4 pillars. We expect excellence, we innovate, and we embrace equity, and we collaborate. And the mission at Elmonica Elementary is the mission of Elmonica Elementary is that together we promote high standards by practicing critical thinking skills through inquiry, inquiring in-depth knowledge of globally significant ideas, appreciating the unique qualities of each person, and creating empathy, compassion, and international mindedness. So then many parents ask, what is it that kindergartners or other students learn? There is plenty of information on the district webpage. I've linked a button here that will take you exactly where you can find all the curriculum information. Here it comes. So when you go to the Beaverton School District webpage, it would be under departments and curriculum and instruction and its assessment. Let's say, for example, you wanted to know what was happening in English language arts at the elementary level. You can find the learning targets for kindergarten. And this will give you exactly what the learning targets are for each grade level, in this case, kindergarten. And as you can see, the list includes everything K-12. So you can find it all here under departments, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And here we go. The next little section talks a lot about kindergarten. I have two buttons here that will take you to a kindergarten booklet, which just describes some of the skills that are important for the kindergarten students to have when they come to us. It's both in English and in Spanish. Down here, I have a couple of tidbits for getting ready for kindergarten. We want them to know how to use the bathroom completely independently, know how to button and zip their pants, know how to put on a coat without help. And believe me, that requires some practice. So please start practicing if you haven't yet. Then putting on a full-size backpack without help. That can also be difficult too. But just imagine 20 kindergartners trying to put on their backpacks. And if they can't do it independently, the teacher has a little trouble getting them ready to go home. To use a tissue to blow their nose independently, to put their own shoes on, and to tie their shoes. Tying shoes usually comes a little bit later, but kindergarten is a great year to start learning how to tie shoes. Practicing waking up early, especially if they aren't in the habit of waking up to go to school yet. Eating independently without any help or support. Being able to open and close containers in a lunchbox is really important. Again, just imagine several students eating together and not all of them being able to get into their packages. There is a top 10 list here if you'd like to refer to it. It just gives you some more information. But I do want to show this 2-minute video about kindergarten basics.
Go beyond the ABC songs and start practicing letter sounds and letter names. He says but. That can be done with magnetic letters, or as you talk about the different people in your family, say the name and then say what sound it starts with. And as you go shopping, you could be talking about getting tomatoes, and maybe tomato starts with the letter T and it makes a ch. Is there any other vegetable that we can find that starts with a ch, or anything in our cart that starts with a T? Is it a blue circle? It's important to talk about colors and shapes as well. So as you're driving along the street, you might see a road sign that might be a rectangle. So you can say that sign or this sign is a rectangle. And as you're walking through the park or at your home and playing with different toys, you can be thinking about what shapes are in those and what colors there are in those toys. 2, 3. Counting with your children is really important. So it can be counting how many steps it is from your door to the car. If you're at the park, how many times the swing goes back and forth. What we're finding oftentimes in kindergarten nowadays is that kids are spending a lot more time on swings. And so that's a lot less time spent holding a pencil or cutting or even playing outside. The more fine motor skills that we can get with the students, either have them hold the pencil with the proper grip, and then also as much time that they can spend with crayons, they need to be able to hold scissors. And so you can start with them cutting old magazines or old paper. Just have them cut straight lines, squiggly lines. And if it's hard for them to hold the scissors, they have smaller scissors that you can get, because the size of the scissor will make it easier or harder for some kids if their hands are really small. It's very important to read with your children, if possible, anywhere from 2 to 10 books a day. The libraries are a key place to go. They have lots of books that are free. Anybody can get a library card. When you read with your child, it's important to look at the pictures, do a picture walk. So look at the picture of the book in the books and talk about them. The more conversation and talk time you have with your children, the more vocabulary that they will build and the stronger they'll come into kindergarten.
That same video is also available in Spanish. Next, I'd like to take you to nutrition services. This is a great resource for all of our families wanting to know the price of lunch or even to apply for meal benefits. Meal benefits, if you want to apply for free or reduced lunch, you can go to meal benefits, and it's best to apply by July. That is exactly where you would go. I wish it would take me back and hold my place, but it doesn't. And here we are. So there's a little more information. These links will also take you to different pages in the nutrition services website for lunch. And Ms. Kim Bartholomew wasn't able to be with us this evening, but she is our school nurse. She just wanted to remind everybody that vaccinations are important and required, and we want to make sure everyone is in school and can stay in school. So please make sure those are taken care of. And we also need a picture of the vaccinations record sent into the school. I'll get to that a little bit later. It's one of the pieces of enrollment information that we need. We also manage medications in the front office, and there are forms to fill out if your child needs to take medication at school. And Ms. Bartholomew would also like to know about special health conditions. We know every child is unique, and some students come to school with health conditions that need to be managed or supported by classroom teachers or by our school nurse. So please communicate with her if there's anything that your child needs. And I am going to click on the Too Sick for School link, because these are the guidelines that we follow when determining if a child needs to be sent home. Is my child too sick for school? So if they have a fever of 104 or greater, they can return to school after they have been fever-free for 24 hours. This particular list also has symptoms for COVID listed. And make sure that they haven't had diarrhea, that they're definitely not vomiting. We say they need to be symptom-free for 48 hours before returning to school. If they return earlier than that, then they are contagious. All right. Now we have some information about Playful Inquiry. This button, Playful Inquiry, will take you to a document by the BSD Early Learning Department to explain what we mean by Playful Inquiry. But I will show you this little video to give you a sneak peek.
Yeah! When children are having fun and something is playful, they're more likely to be engaged. And engagement is everything for learning. Throughout the day, while we're teaching academics, we try to incorporate play through everything.
So intentional play is the heart of our day here in kindergarten. It's thinking about the standards that we're teaching, thinking about our goals, the learning outcomes we're looking for in our children, and then using that to do backwards planning and to think about what hands-on activities that are authentic at kids' levels can we create that will get them excited about the content, that will engage them in the content, and get them thinking and talking.
So play happens all day, and it happens because we know these young learners, they need to learn pro-social behavior. This is the time where they develop those skills to be advocates for themselves and to problem solve.
Being persistent, perseverance, and I think that when students are able to explore these skills and be able to practice in a really safe setting, and they're not concerned whether they're right or wrong, but they're engaged.
As a teacher, I don't want to solve problems for them. I want to give them some tools and strategies of how they can solve those problems on their own. And sometimes that takes like whispering in, or sometimes it takes like taking a break. And then other times we meet as a class and say, hey, my friend is having this problem every day. What do you think he can do to help solve this problem?
Through play, I've found play to be the most effective way to teach academic skills to children. So before the play happens, I set it up together where sometimes I front load vocabulary. I might teach them a word like temperature if we're studying weather and seasons.
Let's say it again. Ready? Temperature.
We talk about that temperature. We give them some information to arm them so that when they go out and play and create, they can use that while they're playing. Children might take the word temperature, and while they're creating a story about animals in winter, they might have snow and they might have animals coming to hibernate, and they start using the word temperature about the temperature is dropping, the bears need to find a home. They start cutting out a paper thermometer so they can measure the temperature, and they start authentically, naturally using academic language in their play. And then during, we are right there, sometimes guiding, sometimes stepping back, watching what's happening, and then coming in at the right moment to ask a question and to nudge the children a little further.
And from the very first day that we start writing workshop, they are playing at being authors, even before they can conventionally write. And they are playing at being readers even before they know one letter.
If you're ready to get a new tool that will make your word art power even stronger.
All right, now a little bit more about registration. So many of you probably already registered, and you will then receive verification. Registration and verification are a little different. So registration is when you initially apply for school to come to school, and verification happens every year when you do an update. So as a parent myself, I will receive verification in the fall that all of my information about my son in school is still accurate. So don't be confused by that. You don't re-register every year. You register once and you verify every year. Some things that kind of hold up the registration process are making sure that we have some documents, birth certificate, immunization, and proof of address. Because everything is pretty digital now, it is perfectly fine if you take a picture of those documents and you email them to Evelyn Warmflash at beaverton.k12.or.us. Her email is linked in this presentation. She is the registrar at school, so she will take those forms and she will send you some reminder emails if you haven't done so already. And if you haven't enrolled your child yet, the link here will take you to register. Now, parents, are you ready? Some things you need to do to get ready for school are to get a volunteer background check. I'm, of course, making the great assumption that things will go back to normal in the fall and we'll have volunteers return to school. So please complete your volunteer background check well in advance of the school year starting, and then sign up to volunteer at our school. Also, I have some other information in here. Transportation, that seems to be one challenging area for parents. They're really worried about the bus. Once you know your child's ID number, and after your child is registered, they do have an ID number, and you can look up where their bus stop is going to be. By clicking on this link, if you know the information, their 6-digit ID number and their birth date, you can find out where their bus stop will be. Of course, that won't happen until the fall, but just so that you know. Then in addition, we have a family handbook that's on our school webpage, and it has plenty of school information. This whole section, so enjoy that. And some healthy or good school habits. Make sure your child is to school on time every day. Make sure that your young child is sleeping anywhere from 10 to 13 hours a night. Little kids need lots of sleep. And dress for school. School is not the place for sparkly high heel shoes. It is the place for tennis shoes so that you can play and run and jump and leap and hop and skip and move your body, because the kids move their body a lot in PE and outside, and also in the classroom as well. Make sure you dress for the weather. Assume that the children will go outside every day, rain or shine, to play, again, assuming everything is returning to normal, but they need coats and hats and sometimes even gloves. Label anything that you send your child to school with. You wouldn't believe how much we accumulate in the lost and found over the course of the school year. So put their names in hats and gloves and jackets, and so we can get their lost items back to them. And I mentioned in here again, attendance is critical. And what is an excused absence? Basically, an excused absence is if your child is sick or has a medical appointment. And last but not least, bring a backpack and a coat every day, even if it doesn't feel like it's, if you think it's going to get warm, it's usually cold in the morning. So please make sure your child has a coat and backpack every day. Morning arrival usually makes people wonder, especially if they haven't come to Elmonica before. We have a lane that comes closest to the school that's reserved for buses. We have 4 buses that will drop the children off right about where the US mailbox is, and students enter through the cafeteria so they can start their day off with breakfast. Then students leave that particular area and head towards their classroom when the time has arrived. Breakfast is available every morning for every student. You can receive breakfast if you're part of the free and reduced program, or you can pay for a breakfast every single morning. And then at the end of the day at 3:05, most students leave through their exterior doors, or they leave and funnel back forward through the hallways. Our vehicle, let's see. I have to think about some of the patterns that we had last year because it's been a year since we've been in school. We do let kids that pick up the bus or walk home leave at 3:05 and then dismiss students for vehicle pickup at about 3:15. And students who are going home by vehicle pickup gather in the cafeteria to be dismissed from the cafeteria doors. Like I mentioned before, the bus seems to cause some concern. Just some information to know that if you are meeting your child at the bus stop, the bus drivers don't wait. When they arrive at the bus stop, they let the students off the bus, whether a parent is there or not. They have other routes, other children to drop off and other routes at the middle school and high school level. So please be aware of that your child will get off the bus even if a parent is not there. Now, if your child's uncertain or gets scared or won't get off the bus, that's fine too. That happens sometimes. But the bus driver will go back to school and return the child to school if there is not a parent there to coax the child off the bus. When we have some transportation changes, please make sure that you send in a note or call or send an email early in the day. Waiting for those last minute transportation changes can sometimes cause miscommunications, and we don't want that to happen. So notify the school as early as possible if there's a transportation change. And there is a way to change your child's bus stop, but that's a future conversation with someone in the office if you need help with that. And our PTO, we have a fantastic PTO. Probably Ms. Dickinson and Ms. Martell might even be in the audience because they have future kindergartners coming to Elmonica in the fall. Here is linked to our PTO website, so you're welcome to go see what's happening with our PTO. And also there's some information about volunteering. Some of the fun things that have happened in the past are book character day, fun run, movie nights. Those were really fun. We hope to start those up again. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Lewis to talk a little bit about preschool.
Thank you. So the district is very happy to have received a grant through Preschool Promise to open up 2 new preschool classrooms this year. They will be housed at Merlot Station, and they will draw from both Elmonica and Beaver Acres catchment areas. The link is live, so you can actually register your child right now for the remaining school year. This is for children who were 4 years of age as of last September. This will be a preschool that stays in CDL for the remainder of this year. However, on March 1st, you can apply for a preschool for next year. It will be live, assuming that everything else is live as well. You heard the word inquiry and you saw an inquiry video, and the preschool programs within the Beaverton School District are inquiry based. They're play based programs, so they prepare children very well to enter an inquiry based kindergarten classroom. And there's a flyer there. We have the flyers. Your principal has the flyers available in many different languages.
Thank you. And before we get to questions, so parents, if you're out there listening and you're ready, you can start sending in your questions in the Q&A. Ms. Hastings will be prepared in a minute to ask me those. But while you are thinking of your questions to ask, I will play a short video from the Beaverton City Library.
Hi, my name is Araceli and I work at the Beaverton City Library. And I'm happy to share some of the ways in which the Beaverton City Library is here to support preschoolers and kindergartners. But first, a question. How many of you read to your child or with your child every day? Great! You are well on your way to getting your child excited about learning. And if your answer was no, no worries. Now is a great time to get started. Reading to your child every day is one of the best ways for you to help your child build a strong brain and a strong foundation for learning. So, beginning May 15th, we are offering a Ready, Set Kindergarten program, a 6-week series in which we will practice and share skills to get your child excited about kindergarten. And we will do this with music, art, stories, and play. Registration for this program begins April 15th, and you can register in person, online, or by phone. So for more information, please visit our webpage at www.beavertonlibrary.org/RSK. Also, we have partnered with the Beaverton School District to get every student a library card. So once your preschooler or kindergartner starts school, they will receive a library card in the fall called a Youth Access Card. With this card, they can check out books, ebooks, audiobooks, e-audiobooks, and it's fine free. Lastly, remember, we are here to help you in any way that we can. So please reach out. And for more information on our current services, you can visit our website or give us a call at 503-644-2197. We hope to see you and your child at the library.
All right, and I would also like to mention that not only are library cards available for our preschoolers and our kindergartners, but they are available for our new students as well. I'm sure she will have, she will get that all taken care of in the fall. We received library cards last year for all of the students at our school. All right, Ms. Hastings, are there any questions?
Yes, we have some questions.
Wonderful.
Okay, start at the top. Do I have to complete another volunteer background if completed one for another school in the district?
You will need to go change your settings. So you don't have to redo the entire application again, but you do need to select Elmonica.
Okay. I'm gonna type a response. All right, next one. What would you say the odds are that school will be back to normal in the fall?
I am so incredibly hopeful that I want to say it's going to happen, but I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. Next question. Can a student bring his or her own breakfast?
Actually, we don't allow food on the bus, and the food needs to be consumed off-site. So the short answer is no.
Okay. When does the school start?
That's a great question. We haven't actually published the calendar for the next school year yet. It'll be out soon, but I anticipate that the first day of school will be the day after Labor Day.
Maybe after the day after Labor Day.
Maybe the day after Labor Day, yes. They're still
Okay.
working on our calendar for next year.
And in the off chance that that was a question about like actual time of day in the morning, do we know that yet either?
If everything returns to normal, the students need to be in their seats at 8:30.
Okay.
Arriving to school as early as 8:10.
Okay, next one. What would be needed in kindergarten students' backpacks?
Oh, we will have a school supply list that'll be generated this spring or early summer and posted on our website and communicated out to all of our families on what supplies are needed. So all of those things can go in the backpack.
And that is just a one-time thing, right?
Yes. I know some young children usually do really well if they have an extra pair of pants in their backpacks.
Yes. And we'll have more info on all of that too. I think that the teachers will include that on their list.
Yes, they will.
Okay. What reading program and handwriting program do you use for kindergarten? Well, yeah, there are a lot of questions here, so maybe do you want to respond to that one, and then I can keep reading the rest of the questions?
Yes, as far as reading and writing, we use Lucy Calkins Units of Study as part of our curriculum. Writing, Georgia, do you remember the name of the writing?
Yeah, so for reading and writing, it is Lucy Calkins, their workshop model programs. And then for handwriting, I believe it's Handwriting Without Tears.
Very good, thank you. I knew you'd know that answer.
Yeah, I'm trying to type my answers too. Is that helpful? I don't know.
Not sure.
Okay. Maybe I can go back and do that later. Okay, the next question in this post is what percentage of kids are reading by the end of kindergarten?
Almost all of them. They're reading at different levels usually.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we spend a lot of time on phonemic awareness, but they really do take off really quickly. Mm-hmm. Do they teach reading in large group or small group?
Both. That happens. Teaching reading happens all day long.
Yep. There's always a mini lesson, and then groups and private conferring and partner reading. There are a lot of different parts to the workshop. Do kindergarten teachers have assistants besides co-teachers?
We do have para-educators who work in the building, but they are assigned to different responsibilities just depending on where the needs are. But there is typically not a para-educator that is assigned to a kindergarten classroom exclusively.
Okay, this one's funny. I can answer it. Okay. Do they have nap time? Nap time. Well, some kids decide to have nap time. But no, there is no nap time built into the schedule from the teacher. If they fall asleep at school, we usually let them sleep for a little bit before waking them. Did you want to add anything to that?
Nope, that was a perfect answer.
Okay. Does every student get breakfast time or have to participate?
No, breakfast is definitely a choice. It happens before school starts, so students can eat from 8 to 10 until about 8:25, and then they're dismissed from the cafeteria to head to their classroom. But it is optional, so a child can arrive at 8:25 to walk directly to class.
Yeah, I had, and in my experience supporting the kindergarten teachers, having kids come down to the classroom with breakfast left over or coming in late with breakfast from the cafeteria can be very disruptive to their morning routine, which is part of their playtime. So if at all possible, have them eat before 8:30. If we are not live in the fall, will we be hybrid even for kindergarten?
Well, we're planning on returning hybrid on April 5th. So in my imagination, what we will have in the fall should be better than what we will be doing in April. Hopefully, we will be adding more hours or more students who will come back in hybrid. But I'm hoping that we'll all come back.
TBD. Okay. Do we need to register or submit any forms specific to Elmonica other than the BSD registration? If yes, please send those details.
No, when you registered online, that is all you need to do for Elmonica.
Okay, I'm going to scroll one last time, but I think we've covered all of the questions. Yeah, I don't see any more.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Very good. Well, parents and families, thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate your time and you taking this opportunity to learn about Elmonica and learn about what a wonderful school it is. And we look forward to meeting you. We hope that you are looking forward to starting school in the fall. And I would like to thank all of my helpers tonight who presented or made sure the tech worked and asked all and answered some of the questions. So thank you to my team as well. I think we're done.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.